no, so like I was saying was when you actually draw it. So be careful with your boxes. Don't make them too big.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what?
Not that big.
You know what? I done seen it all.
Yeah.
I have seen
have.
it all.
Alright.
She is using the paper. Yeah, so it's 6 across.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
5. Okay.
And then I think it's 8 in the first box.
Right.
You crack me up.
Yeah, she's a little too much.
I
Now I feel like I'm not doing it good enough. Just trying to.
love these little things. These little posty. I'm a posty. Can we open these? So, one of the things that Trevor always says is that people will pay you first with their information, second with action, and then with money, if you take it out of order, you cut your revenue
I did this bad.
by 80%. Now you can get another one. Go ahead. Look where that came from. And so one of the things that he will probably teach you later or tomorrow is the evergreen prospecting sequence. And one of the things that you'll realize is that a prospect is a person that is, a lead is a person that is, interested in your products or services, your brand, or your mission. And then a prospect is a person who is indicated by their action. So there's a difference between the two. So you guys, would you rather have a lead or a prospect?
I want a prospect.
You want a prospect. Do you know why you want a prospect?
To make it to create a network.
Well, the reason why you want a prospect versus a lead is because a prospect has indicated by action, meaning that they've taken action.
Done something.
Right. So they probably have given you their information. So people will pay you first with their information, second with action, and last with money. And if you take it out of order, you cut your revenue by 80%.
Okay.
So if a lead is a person who is interested in your products or services, it's just a lead.
I'm going to pause for a second. You're fine. You don't have to pause. So I just want you ladies to see the logo, see which of the two you like. So we're hard at work while you guys are talking. I'm not sure what's going on in here, but
Leads. I just started working.
I'm the director of the team last time.
Look at this.
So anyway, Trevor likes number 2, but I don't want to be biased. I'll let you guys be 2 select it. But
Yeah, I like one too. Yeah, I like one too.
so
Yeah.
number 2 is approved.
I like it too.
So I'll tell them we're going to finalize number 2.
Number 2.
Okay. Trevor, they
Number
lean for number 2 with you. Which one? What's your? I'll be back. Trevor, I'll be directing the team. Back the team. I'll be back. I'm up on directing.
He's working. He say he's working. Shade is very good. I did. So, what I was saying was, once you realize that you want a prospect versus a lead, he's going to take you through the prospecting sequence. So there's a sequence of activities that a prospect goes through that you nurture the relationship. Because people will purchase from people that they know, like, and trust.
Right.
So the sequence is set up to automatically build that relationship for you by taking them through an automation, a sequence of activities that is automated. I love it. And so every time you set up a new sequence, each sequence should start with some type of prospecting sequence or prospecting lead magnet is what it is. And so in this brand management process, you probably have been given or you will be receiving some lead magnets that go along with your brand and your movement. And so some of them might be like ebooks, free reports, audios, like free audios, free videos. Those are the different type of lead magnets that people typically opt into. And it's kind of like the pink spoon at Baskin Robbins, right? Where you get kind of like just the taste. Oh, I want to taste this one. I want to taste this one, right? I don't know about y'all kids, but my kids still do it. They're grown. But it's the same thing when you are building a relationship in business. One of the things that I have found, like, for an example, what's some of the, if you guys are raising a mogul, what's some of the pain points that a parent will have that's raising a mogul?
They have low confidence, or they don't know much about business at all.
So you might have a lead magnet that shares some secrets to getting in business, right? You might have a lead magnet that has the secrets to really running a business. So these are for the new moms that are entering into the space, right?
Yes.
And so what that does is it allows a lead to now raise their hand and say, wait, she has some information that I'm interested in. And so now they turn into a prospect.
Okay.
And so that prospect now goes into a sequence of activities, which eventually will lead them to an invitation to an event that you will have. So that's why we call it the evergreen event sequence.
Okay.
Now, I don't care what Shay and what Trevor tells you over the next couple of days, but what I'm getting ready to tell you is the most important piece of the entire experience.
Okay.
And I can say that on camera and I can mean that. Because when you get back home and you say, where do I start? You start with the evergreen event sequence.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that again. When you get back home, it's gonna be a lot of information that you've taken in over the last couple of days and for the duration of your trip. So when you get home and you say, where do I start? You start with the evergreen event sequence. You start with what I'm teaching you. And some of it you're actually doing now, but the light bulb is gonna go off on how you can perfect what you're doing. Because I think I heard them say, you guys are already live streaming.
Yeah.
You're already going live. And so what you'll find out is this sequence, number one, is gonna show you how to generate prospects, how to identify individuals who are actually interested in the products that you sell. So do you all have a program already that you are selling to?
Yes. We're selling the society, actually, a membership. Right now.
So right now you're selling a membership?
Yeah.
Okay, so is that the 19?
Yeah, well, it's 37. That
Okay.
person came in last year.
Oh, okay.
When I was playing around, when I was trying to figure it out. So it's 37 now.
Okay. So I'm not 100% sure which product will be developed out of the brand management program.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a membership model program based on what you have. But we're just gonna look at right now, based on the current, we'll look at, your current product. Most of the time, you can even upsell your current members into a $9.97 program. So there's a very good chance that they're gonna create a $9.97 program for you.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but there's a very good chance.
Okay.
So when we discuss the evergreen event sequence, we're gonna discuss it based on you upselling those current members into this $9.97 program.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So when we look at the evergreen event sequence, one of the things that I want you to understand is when you hear me say event, that could be a live event, it could be a webinar, it could be a workshop. You can literally use the sequence for any type of event. And if you do it right, it will help you increase your attendance rates for live events, workshops, conference calls, teleseminars, summits, you name it. Okay? And so, basically what this is going to show you is how to have what I call a profitable webinar sequence. Okay? And so, one of the first things that we do is, and this is a question that we get all the time, how do I get more people to register for my webinar? How do I get more people on my webinar? How do I get more people, on our live stream, right? So there's really 7, now 8 ways. I always teach 8 ways now because there's a new system in place. But there's 7 ways that you can generate traffic to your event. And those 7 ways is what you're gonna write in that first box. So it should be like seven actual spaces in this one box. It's the same way that you see it.
Yeah, I just didn't finish it, cause I write extremely large, so I wanted to make sure.
So the title of the that's perfect. The title of the box is called traffic sources. So that's how we're gonna generate traffic to the actual it's the registration page. Okay?
Traffic sources?
Traffic sources is the title of this particular column, that box. So the first traffic source is going to be a Facebook post. That Facebook post will address pain points. So number 1 is Facebook posts. You can do a post on your business page. You can do a post on your personal page. You can share the post in different groups on social media. Honestly, even though, let me say, I've been teaching this for 4 years. So it kind of changes a little bit. I'm going to say Facebook post, but you can actually use it as social media post. Okay? But it basically is Facebook posts. But if your client is on Twitter, if your client is on LinkedIn, you can use the same ad copy that you would use from the Facebook post on the different platforms. So basically, in your portfolio, you're going to receive social media images, and so you're going to receive images that you can use online that will promote the upcoming event. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the next one is social media ads. So paid social media ads is number 2. So you can actually run an ad to drive traffic to your upcoming event. You can, and I don't go in a lot of detail in the ad piece. I think someone is actually coming in and talk about the ads. But have you guys ever run ads before?
Yes.
Okay. So have you run them from the ads manager, or do you like boost the post? Ads manager.
I've done both.
I've done
Ads
that too.
manager.
Yeah. Okay. So the paid social media ads will be from the ads manager. I just want to make sure that we do clarify that when you run those ads, because that's how you can actually segment the list, and you can actually choose your audience based on your client profile, right? Or people that match your client profile. The third way is going to be the Facebook invite. I still actually use this. You can create the invite from your personal page. You can create the invite from your business page. You can create the invite from your group. And one of the things that I love about the Facebook invite in groups is until you get to a certain member, a certain amount of members that I don't know, I'm trying to figure it out, it actually invites everyone in the group. But once you get beyond a certain point, it only allows you to invite your friends in the group. Right. Sucks. So, right now I know that
Invite is like creating an event.
if you're in a group and you create an event inside the group, if you're below like 700 members in your group, it'll invite everyone. So I think it's somewhere between 700 and 1,000 members in a group. It'll actually invite everyone in the group. Once you hit that certain point, it only lets you invite your friends. Mental note. And I noticed that in larger groups versus kind of newer groups that are smaller. But when you have the smaller groups, it works wonders because it invites everyone and the notification goes off versus just your friends or the people that you're connected to. So Facebook invites are really good. You can create them from your business page. You can create them from your personal page. You can do both. Why not do them all? I mean, it's a better way to get the information out there. So number 4 is a text message invite. And you guys have access to the system. And so if you are, and I'm going to give you the sequence that you can actually send out text messages to increase the show rate. Even with your live streams, you can do this on your live streams for your group. That's if you're collecting their information. Don't give me that face. If we are. So this is why I say you'll have the aha moment on how you can do better. So, and without me, because I enjoy this piece of it, so without me going on a tangent, I just kind of want you all to think, how can you collect the people? How many members are in your group?
773.
So now y'all need to work on, when
I
Trevor,
was doing it, I was collecting information, people didn't really like it, and then I was thinking of creating other ways to get it without,
there you go.
that's the thing, I have to be more creative.
So when he starts to talk about the evergreen prospecting sequence, I want you to start working in that group. What did I tell you? What I'm getting ready to tell you is the most important thing when you get back home, right? So start working in your group and getting them on your list, because you have a free group and a paid group, right?
Yes.
So the free group is 700. So you've got a warm audience of individuals that we want. Right now they're only just leads.
Right.
They're only leads. So you got a group of 700 leads. We need to figure out how can we turn those leads into prospects. And so when he goes through the evergreen prospecting sequence, one of the things that I want you to think about is what can you do based on the items that has been created for you to promote in the group to get people to opt in. So there's probably going to be a worksheet, a checklist, or something like that you guys, when you start your marketing program or marketing process, you can offer that in the group to get them to opt in and they become prospects.
Okay, so we welcome people in, and then I offer them the Raising a Mobile Toolkit, which is like social media, how to make social media easier, just like a freebie, it's like a booklet of free
How do they
stuff.
get it?
They have to opt into the list. So
Okay.
they click on the link and then it downloads.
So
that's
a perfect,
So
that's a perfect way.
that's the list.
Yeah.
So
So
are
I'm
they
not
giving?
collecting text messages.
Okay, that was my
That's
next
what
question.
I'm only asking for emails.
So that was going to be my next question. What information are you collecting? And I always say, when you're collecting information, and you did that based on the strategy that you're currently using. You got a new strategy now.
Right.
You have a text messaging system. So now you know whenever you create an opt-in, you want the first name, the last name, the email address, and the phone number. Now you know why you need the phone number.
Right.
At first you didn't.
Right.
Make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. So number 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 5. Number 5 would be Facebook retargeting. You guys familiar with retargeting?
Is that through, I know how to
Is that where you
through
see that post on the ads on the sign?
I can always tell when my daughter's been on my computer.
She's looking at Forever 21 or what?
I see Charlotte Rose, Forever 21, Amazon, and these little teeny size 0, 00, and I know I can't get in a 00. So I can always tell when baby girl has been on my computer. Because what they're basically doing is they're putting a pixel on the page and tracking your activity.
Okay.
So when you log on,
That's Sassy Jones.
Yeah.
when you log on, and you can do the same. So basically, what a social media person is going to come through and walk you through, you have a system called Instant Broadcast Pro, IBP, is what you have from this brand management makeover. And that's the system that you're going to be using in order to get people to come to your webinar. Even though you go live, I think that's phenomenal. But here's where, and you probably, do you sell from that platform when you go live?
Yes.
Not enough.
Not enough, yeah.
We've only sold, seriously, honestly, we've sold
1 or 2 times.
twice in the last whatever. And every time we sell, every time we intentionally sell, we get members. But we're not selling, that's the problem.
So you're not doing it consistently.
We're not being consistent.
But that's all what he was talking about with these notes.
Yeah.
We just talking.
But that's okay, because now we realize that you're the salesperson.
Right.
So we don't have to be there, all 3 of us.
Today makes it okay.
Right.
Because it's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, so yeah. We're just gonna clean it up.
Learning.
We're gonna get that dustpan and that broom and clean it up.
That's the whole, and that's and you guys, how long have you and your daughter's been in business?
Xander's 8 years.
Minus 3.
So it takes time.
Right.
It
Right,
takes
well, their
time.
business is doing better than this business.
Right.
Right.
And so
Right.
when you're building a new business, it takes time. And then you're stepping into a new zone. They have their own special entity,
Yeah.
right? And so you're stepping into a new space, a different space that is to operate like totally different.
Their
Right.
businesses are making money.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
But it's a totally
And
different
that's
space.
and they have a product. This is a service.
Exactly. So I was gonna say, your daughter does the skincare.
Nail polish.
I have her.
Shine Swirl.
That's
Uh-huh.
Alexia.
Ah, thank you.
I actually brought up my daughter and I wanted her to sell it. But yeah, so you guys are starting, when you're starting a brand new business, it's especially an online space, it's so different. It's funny because I actually started an online shoe company back in 2010, which is totally different from what I do now.
Right.
So again, it's one of those things. If I knew then what I know now, I would do things differently. So that's what we're here for. We're here to teach you how to kind of cut that curve down so that you can understand this world, this space. So Facebook retargeting. So what's going to happen is they're going to put pixels on like your registration pages, your thank you pages, your sales pages, so that when traffic goes to these particular pages, you are now building an audience in your Facebook advertising audiences. You guys are familiar with how to create an audience in Facebook, right? So what should happen is you should basically have an audience for this is your registration page, this is your thank you page, this is your live page, right? So I know. So it's gonna be a pixel on, like, I think it's a thank you page and then the sales page, because you want to track how many people are actually going from registration to thank you, meaning that they're actually opting in for your webinar. And one of the things that I was going to say is live stream is great, but live stream allows for little to no barrier of entry. Meaning anybody can just kind of jump on.
Right.
And even if you are live streaming in a group,
You're not tracking it. Yeah.
right, you don't know who's really on, right? So I really highly recommend that people still do webinars. Webinars are a very safe, secure spot for you to sell. And a lot of times, webinars are so popular that people are conditioned to know that I'm going to be sold at the end of the webinar. So therefore, if they stay the entire process, if they stay and you retain them through the entire webinar, there's a better chance that you're actually going to convert them. Studies show that 80% of the people that actually show up to your webinar become paying clients. Doesn't necessarily mean immediately, but eventually they will. They keep opting in and showing up and listening, because marketing says you got to touch it 7 times.
Right.
So imagine if 80% of the people that actually come into your webinar actually turn into paying customers.
It makes sense. When you think about the things that you
Look at Lamar Tyler. He has webinars all the time.
Yeah.
And most of your like higher names, they still have webinars. I don't care who it is. It could be Ted McGrath, it could be Alan Brown, it could be Doreen Rainey, who else? All of them. They still, at some point in time,
And it just gives you
when they're
advertising.
launching, they're going to have a webinar.
During the launch. Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so I'll tell you a secret that I do whenever I have a webinar. I either have someone from my team or I call myself every person that registers on that webinar. Because I've collected their first name, their last name, their email address. So I pick up the phone and I
Make
call
that connection.
every single
Because you
last
touched
one.
them.
I can't do that when I live stream.
Right, you touch them. So they're like, oh my God, that's a personal
Thank you so
touch.
much for joining
Right.
the webinar.
Wow.
We'll call on behalf of
I can do
President
that.
I had one experience with a coach that did something personal, and it changed. It was like,
It
whoa!
changed
I
your
can't
whole-
freaking believe she did that. Yeah, and it wasn't even a phone call. It was a personalized video email, and she was like, "Tamara, thank you so much for joining."
It's
That's
so
like,
many things, right? It's
I watched it like it was like literally like 30 seconds, but I watched it like 4 times. So I was like,
But just imagine, I'm
because
gonna
I
tell you
had so many
something else that
bad
happened
experiences
to me.
before. That was like, whoa.
When people
You
join
know.
your group, you know on Messenger, there's a little voice recorder.
Yes.
When people join your group, you can actually send them a quick voice recorder. Hey Nikisha, we saw that you just joined today. Welcome so much to da 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 da. Make sure that you check out the house rules, whatever it is.
Right.
And we just want to thank you from XYZ Company.
That's
Love
awesome.
it, love it.
That's
Giving
the
y'all
Shant's
all my
department.
secrets.
That's the Shant's department.
Yeah, I can do that, most definitely.
So that's an extra tip on how you
And
kind
if
of
I
build that
could,
relationship.
girl, we hire an intern.
There you go. I mean, I honestly have an appointment set.
Right,
All she does is call my list and schedule appointments.
right,
That's it.
that's it.
Don't do anything else.
Right.
That's it. All right. So the next one is the invite via email list. So you send out an email blast when you know that you're getting ready to have a webinar, an event, a summit, or something like that.
What is it? Invite.
Email invite.
Oh,
Is that what we, when you reply people about raising a mobile, that's what that is?
and also the email when we did the 5C challenge that last
I
day.
saw
and
that.
It was like, tonight we celebrate.
I was
Don't
thinking.
forget. And then I did that one day. I did a series of 3 emails in that one day. And I was like, you have 60 minutes to count down. Grab your
But we
coffee.
need to be
let's
more
get it
consistent
together.
with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because we're not having any events. So
But
it's
events-
also the community.
Remember, events are, whether it's an online event or
But
webinar.
we're not doing anything with the community. I would do an email sequence to the members saying, hey, tonight's class, this is what we're training on, blah, blah, blah. But there's no emails to the community.
Can't we e-blast like tips?
Well, we
And
can.
stuff
I'm
like
just saying
that.
the reason why we haven't been consistent because we're not consistently having any events. So
Right.
we haven't been sending any emails.
What about how often do you go live?
We've been live in a long time.
We haven't, but we work on it a couple times a week.
Yeah.
But I wasn't doing it. I wasn't sending the emails, and we should.
Yes.
Because that's an event.
Right.
You know what I'm
right.
saying? We haven't done anything.
Right, we haven't.
Gotcha.
Cause we were just still trying to figure out these missing pieces, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
now,
there you
now
go.
it's starting to get fluid. It's starting to
So when and I'm going to give you a sequence of emails that you can send out. So
get fluid.
you'll get the copy of it, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, you'll get a copy and you can kind of twist it up and make it your own.
Okay.
So, but I'm going to give you the sequence of how it goes out.
Perfect.
So email invite, and then you have the last one is going to be the prospects that come in from your free gift.
Okay.
So right now you have the kit, the starter kit,
Right.
right?
We sent
So-
like 5 things over, I remember a couple things. But yeah, right now they give them
So-
a mobile tool kit. Yeah.
So in our prospecting sequence, when we set up something similar to the starter kit, we set up a sequence of emails that go out, which you'll learn about, right? So there's value email number 1, value email number 2, and value email number 3. And value email number 3 is an invitation. It's always an invitation to your next event. So it creates the evergreen revenue model. So it's a circular. It's a sequence of
It never
activities.
stops.
Right.
And never dies.
Which forces us to be consistent.
Yeah.
Because we know in that email sequence that we have that set up that's automated, it's gonna automatically invite them. So right now I have like 5 automated webinars that are set up. So whenever I go on stage and I speak and I give out a specific free gift, I know that it's gonna go through value email number 1, value email number 2, and there's an automated webinar that it invites them to. So they're automatically gonna go through the process and get a webinar. So once you perfect your webinar, you can put it in an automated system.
Right.
And you can actually do that. I think, did you purchase Webinar?
Easy webinar.
There you go. So that's your automated webinar system. Once you get comfortable with the presentation, you put it in there and put that in your sequence. And you don't have to do it again. So it's automated.
So 7 is what? What is it?
7 is your prospecting sequence. Turn that off. So 7 is a prospecting sequence. And so I've added like number 8 because I actually like this one. And so I'm gonna, he doesn't know it yet. I'm gonna tell Trevor, you're gonna have to redo the sequence. Because you can use the mini chat, you can use a bot sequence now.
Yes.
And it's not, when we originally, so yeah, bot sequence. A mini chat is just the company that does a bot sequence.
Yeah.
So it's one of many. But I like to add the bot sequence now because you can utilize it to invite people or use it to drive traffic to your events. So I told them we're changing the sequence. I'm gonna add that in there because that's a good traffic source. So your next one is gonna be the registration page. Whenever you do an event, you should have a registration page. Whenever you do an event, you should have a registration page. That's one of the things that drives me crazy about live stream.
I was getting ready to say.
That drives me crazy.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with doing live streams, but you do them with a purpose. Right? Of creating awareness for your brand. Registration page.
Right.
You got it.
Because basically every event will have a registration page except for a live stream.
Exactly. That's why I said it has
Because you
low
get
to no
information.
area of entry.
Right.
So every event has a registration page. And basically on that registration page, you're gonna have a welcome video. So you can write welcome video if you want to. But each registration page should have some type of welcome video. And I don't know how you're gonna fit all this information in there. Oh, your box is big enough. We'll make it work. So here's the information that you're gonna collect on your registration page. And lucky for you, the IBP Instant Broadcast Pro system is set up where it's automatically gonna force you to collect this information anyway. Okay? So it's the first name. You wanna make sure you get their first name, their last name, email address, phone number, and your system actually can pick up the Twitter handle as well. Because if you really want to get sophisticated, you can send out a tweet sequence.
I've seen Lexi will do that for something. Something I've signed up for.
Trust me.
Get a tweet. I got a thank you tweet for signing up for something.
Thank you for registering.
Yeah.
I have, when I put the entire sequence, because I tested the entire model. I tested the entire model. I meant I was going to test the entire model. And I want to tell you, somebody actually replied back and was like, yo, your sequence is fire. And she received like the email, the text message, she got the tweet, she got the Facebook post. She was like, oh my God. So it works. It gets their attention because everyone is not doing it. So you make sure that you collect that information. First name, last name, email, phone number, and Twitter, right? On the registration page, you also want to list 3 benefits of why they should attend. So benefit number 1, benefit number 2, benefit number 3. And when you are developing like your content, you're going to think about the benefits of the reason why you're sharing this information anyway. So you just want to make sure that you have those takeaways on the registration page. Kind of like, this is for you if at the completion of the webinar or event, you're going to walk away with 1, 2, and 3. So make sure that you list those benefits on the page. And then you want to make sure that you have the time, the date, and who should attend. Who is this for? Always put who is this for. And then there's a retargeting pixel number 1 at the bottom of that particular page.
On the registration page?
On the registration page.
Target pixel.
Retargeting pixel. Right? Alright, so there's a couple of things that happen simultaneously when they register. So we're gonna go into box. I think it's like 2A. 2A. So this is kind of what happens behind the scenes that they don't see. And this is what starts the evergreen email sequence. So we're gonna actually write the email sequence here.
And 2A?
Yeah. No, she said here we're gonna write it in the yellow box, in the yellow paper. But she says this is gonna be the email sequence, but we're gonna actually write it out.
Oh, okay.
You saw that, Shelly?
I texted her earlier.
Her daughter's at the hotel.
Here?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Oh, our hotel at Marriott,
Oh, okay.
but she's here in Virginia, hanging out. So she's a superstar, had to be on TV.
Okay. Let's see. Hmm?
No, I'm just writing, I have a separate sheet, just anytime I have a question. I can talk about my. It's so funny how fast it happens, we got mobile kids, mobile.
Alright, so email number 1.
That's on
So we're gonna write this on the yellow paper. So it's actually 10 emails, so make sure that you kind of give yourself enough space. Email number 1, which coincides with 2A, goes out immediately after registration. And this is always complicated. Because like you're in California, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be mindful when you set up for it to go out, because based on where your client base is, for you, it might go out at 6 a.m. For you, it might go out at 9 a.m. So I always train that you send it out at 9 a.m. So when I say 9 a.m. for you, that's 6. Just
Right.
keep that in mind.
because most of our clients are East Coast.
There you go.
Hold on,
So-
but if it's immediate after registration and you register.
So no, when we go through some of these, like email number 3, when I say 9 a.m., just know that it's Eastern Standard Time. So the first one goes out immediately after registration.
Okay.
So regardless of when and where they register, email number 1 is gonna go out immediately after registration. And it basically kind of repeats the same information that's on the registration page. So it has the benefits in it, it has like the date and the
So
time.
thank you for registering?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for registering.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, exactly, that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
Email number 2 is a value, it adds value. One of the things that you can do is a video that kind of talks about one of the nuggets in the upcoming event or webinar. Some people like to add a checklist or pre-work that can be completed in advance. And it goes out 48 hours after registration. 48 hours after registration. 48 hours after registration. 48 hours after registration. And this is just an email to add value. And it is not too many people that do this. Seriously. Email number 3 is the day of reminder, and the email goes out at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's the day of. So it's automatically going to set up in the system that it goes out the day of.
Oh.
Day of. Day of, sorry. It's a day of. Today is the day, and here's what to expect. Email number 4 goes out 4 hours before. This is kind of your preparation email. Go over what they're going to need. One time I sent out makeup done, hair done, something like, oops, I left the chicken on the stove or something like that. Like I tried to put my personality in mine, and somebody actually responded back to it. But get ready, so and so and so. I'll meet you. You
I
know.
practiced a lot when we did our challenge. I practiced. Did you read any of the emails I sent her the challenge? I was trying to be fun with those.
Right.
I was like, those are the first emails that I wrote that were actually a part of my personality.
There you go. But that's how they connect with you.
Yeah.
That's how people connect.
I actually made them, and people did
And they read it and they reply, absolutely, so they work. And, all right, so that's email number 4, right? So you wanna prepare them, whatever they're gonna need for the upcoming call. Email number 5 goes out 1 hour before. Sometimes you can give pre-party gifts, so if you arrive early, you get a gift, right? First person on gets a gift. Email number 6 goes out 15 minutes before. Last time to grab your checklist, copy of your worksheet, to pre-work, brief pre-work, and get ready for short
Email
time.
number 6, what you said?
Email number 6 is 15 minutes before.
Okay.
15 minutes before. 15 minutes before. 15 minutes before. Right? Email number 7. This is a fun one. We are live. Email number 7 says we are live. If you down on the broadcast, you late. I'm just kidding. She said you're live. You can clearly see how my emails go out.
When I did my 6 or 7, I said something like, there's only so many, this is the one concert, there's only so many seats in the room.
That's right.
And on the broadcast towards like, somebody in one of the group, I think the mom in the group, she was like, I know there's not enough seats. I'm coming, I'm trying to get my daughter into bed, and then I'm coming. I was like, what
Because
is she
you know
talking about?
some of the platforms have like 100 seats on some
Yeah.
of the platforms. So
I was
yeah,
totally making it up. But when she said that, I was like, what does she mean? Anybody can enjoy it. It's
I
live.
forgot what you said.
I forgot I said that in the email. I was like, it was only seats, so don't be mad at me if
I
there's
love
no room left when you get
That's
there.
right.
Something like that I said.
I'm telling you, I love it. All right, so email number 8 is post-broadcast. So this is kind of like if you missed it, here's what you missed, here's the special offer that we gave on the website, on the webinar, because a lot of times what you find is, and I've seen one young lady do this very well. So on the broadcast, she'll give a fast action bonus, and you hear Shay Brown talk about a fast action bonus all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be on the broadcast in order to get the fast action bonus, right? And so it might be 3 fast action bonuses, but in email number 8, you're only gonna get 1 of the fast action bonuses.
Okay.
So it's post-broadcast, it's basically the replay. You're basically saying, now here's access to the replay, but you can give information about the special offer that you made on the broadcast. So you are doing the broadcast with the intention of selling at the end. Like,
Again.
you need to understand that you
Sell,
are
sell, sell,
doing
sell.
this broadcast with the intention of selling your program at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So on the replay, you let them know, here's the special offer that we gave to our participants that showed up live.
Okay. So
Okay.
we do like, so I'm letting
So
them
they
know
can
what
get
they missed.
access. Yes.
I'm letting them know what they missed, but they say, this is what we
Here's
gave
what
them.
you missed.
We gave them A, B, and C, but we'll still allow you to have C.
Yep. And because here's the thing, email number 9 is the last opportunity to catch the replay.
Okay.
Because your IDP system allows you to close down the access to that broadcast. So even if I had the link and I registered, after a certain day, you have the capability to shut it down.
So this is 9.
Number 9 is the last opportunity to get the replay. Email number 9 is the last opportunity to get the replay. Last opportunity to get the replay.
Sorry you missed it.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. Sorry you missed it, babe. Show up next time.
Right.
Email number 10 is an invitation to the next event, and it takes them to your new registration page. So you might have a second webinar set up when you're launching your new program. So I like to tell people to do 3 webinars. You can do the same content 3 times. I could care less, because you can do the same content at 3 different times. You can do it on a Saturday at noon, on a Monday at 7 o'clock, on a Sunday at 9 o'clock, and every time you're gonna get a different audience.
I was gonna say, because
Right.
we have a lot of people, a lot of parents in Africa,
Mm-hmm.
because somebody ran a Facebook ad targeting Africa. I did. I actually did. You know what? It was funny because when we were doing the challenge, somehow we attracted all these parents from like Nigeria. I had all these Nigerian parents. I had no idea how it happened. So to get them into the challenge, I did it just playing around with it. It was like literally like $15. I put targeted towards them. And then all of a sudden, everybody was trying to join the challenge. It was all like African names. I was like,
wow.
it worked. I was
Yeah.
so excited.
There you go.
So
Well,
that
and
was
so
cool.
that goes to the point of the different time zones. You
Right.
never know, you
Who's
know,
watching?
who's
Right.
watching.
What time they watching?
So I always, and basically, what this entire revenue model is set up for you to launch. That's it. Introduce yourself to the world. That's what I like to call a launch. And so when you are launching, when you're selling your program, when you're introducing your program, they gotta keep seeing it over and over again. So you wanna make sure that you do the event sequence at least 3 times.
Okay.
Okay? So that's why number 10 is so important.
So 3 times in that week, 3 times in that month,
Probably
or
in a
3
month.
times.
Probably in a month.
Okay.
And I've seen it done different ways. Whatever your comfort zone is. So you might do one a week. You might do one on a Sunday, one on a Thursday, and one on a Monday. I don't know. I'm just throwing out some dates. Wednesdays are not good Bible study.
Right.
Wednesdays are just not good. Fridays are not good
Everybody
to me.
hang out.
I don't even do
Happy
anything.
hour.
Like, yeah, Fridays are not good. Saturday during the day is better than Saturday at night. Okay? Sundays are hot days. Sunday between 7 and 9 is a hot time. Monday is pretty hot as well. Tuesdays are pretty good as well. You lose them on Wednesday. They come back on Thursday and Friday, they're gone. So those are your options that you can have to have the broadcast on. That work, that typically work. So those are the 10 emails that go out after they register.
How do you
for your
feel about
broadcast.
Thursdays?
Huh?
I feel about Thursdays.
Thursdays are good. Thursdays are fun. And anything between 7 and 9 works.
At
So-
night. Oh.
7 p.m., 9 and I've seen some done at 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. as well.
People
and-
really are at work or they work in their business. Yeah.
Here's the key point. So if your audience are individuals that have a 9 to 5, they're not gonna be on your 2 o'clock. If you work with entrepreneurs, they're gonna be on there at 2 o'clock. So you have to identify who is your audience.
Mommy's work. Our mommy's
Mom's work. So
Yeah,
you
we
probably
start talking at night.
there you go. So you probably would do better. I can have a webinar at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
This is entrepreneurs.
This is entrepreneurs, right? So you might stick with anything between 7 and 9 p.m. in those particular days.
This is what you teach. What's your niche?
What I teach,
For your.
I do online business management, so I do outsourcing.
Okay.
But I implement all of this on a consistent basis. Like I do all of this. I tell Trevor all the time, like
It works. It works.
I mean, you said it. I don't have to say it.
The girl that I was telling you about with the product, this is what she does. Email sequence, bringing in 14,000 a month.
I'm telling you, and I haven't even gotten to show you the numbers yet. Like I literally haven't even, and it was so funny because and I try to talk about me in here because it's about you. But if I can give you an example of when it worked, I'm gonna give you an example of when it worked. It's so funny because not only did I do this is how you know it works. I just got some money from somewhere and I don't even know where it came from.
Right.
Oh, somebody just bought some. There you go. I'm like,
And you're here,
right.
She could be at the beach.
Listen, in my sales copy, normally it goes off on my watch, but for some reason my watch is in airplane mode. And I tell everybody, I be like, yep, I'll be on the sideline of my son's football game, and let that payment or notification receipt goes off, I'm running down the sideline. But I am, and that's the only thing that'll stop me on the sideline. But one of the things that I did was I went live, and I intentionally set out to go live just to see, and I went live. I don't know, within 21 days, and I did probably 3 webinars, 21 days, and generated $15,000.
Wow.
And this was all online. I hadn't even spoken in front of a crowd
Wow.
yet, right?
You at home. You had to put your
Girl, let me tell you something. We recorded. I had on shorts for the summit the other day and had on the top, okay? So you can't tell me nothing when you're making money from home. So it works. And this is why I always, and Trevor laughs, but whether it's recorded or not, I will start off this presentation and tell you this by far is the most important thing that you will learn because this is what implement. Everything else is the principles and the foundational information, but this is what you're gonna go and do the work. This is what you do the work, and as long as you do the work, it'll work for you. Alright, so those are the emails that go out. The next one, 2B, are the text messages that go out. So it's 5 text messages that go out.
Just another, yellow paper.
Yes.
Two A was what was it?
Email
Email
sequence. Emails.
2B is a text message sequence. So text message number 1 goes out immediately after registration. And it has the same information that's on the benefit page in the time of the event. And like I said, a lot of what the sequence that I'm giving you is actually in the IBP system. So it's programmed in the system. I mean, you can change the language, but one of the things that I love about the system is that you can clone it. So a lot of the information stays in there. So like, for example, you can clone an entire webinar and the registration, change the date, change the time. So, and change the benefits, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So,
It's already template.
yes, I love it. So that's one of the things that, you know, kind of simplifies the process, so it's not
This is
complicated.
instant broadcast? Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of what I'm giving you is going to be in there, and then you're gonna get the templates for, every email, every text message that I'm giving you. So I'm just kind of telling you what it is, but you'll get a copy of it, just so you'll know. So text number 2 is the day of reminder. It goes out 9 a.m. Today is the day, and I don't want you to think that it's fixated to 9. You want to send it at 10, you can send it at 10. You want to send it at 11, you can send it at 11. Especially if it's a 9 p.m. Webinar. However,
But if they're at work, that's what they gonna
right.
see.
So, and one of the reasons why we try to send it at 9, number one, everybody sends out stuff at 7 a.m. Like between 7 and 8 a.m., right, is when people are like just blasted you. So right around 9, it slows down, it calms down. So if you think about it, people who organize their day, they actually go to work, they sit down, they read their emails pretty much between 8 to 9, right? When you get that first hour when you get to work. So that's why the 9 a.m. kind of works very well. Text message number 3 goes out 1 hour before. And it basically mimics email number 5. So it's gonna have pretty much the same content in it. Text message number 3. 15 minutes before. Pretty much last time to grab the copy of your worksheets. I think that matches email 6, number 6. And then text number 5 is we are live. And then the next one are tweets. I don't know if you still have room on that same one, so I think it's 2C. Hold on, is it 2C? Yeah, 2C or 6 tweets.
Okay, 2C.
Mhm.
Oh. Twitter.
Tweet number 1 is immediate. It's 6 tweets. Tweet number 2 is the day of. (9 a.m.) Tweet number 3, 1 hour before. Tweet number 4, 15 minutes before. Tweet number 5. I'm sorry, y'all are right.
We got it. We got the rhythm going.
We
now.
are live.
We are live.
And tweet number 6, what do you think it is?
They go back to join in or hit the replay.
Post.
There you go.
broadcast.
Replay.
Do I have that for a text? A number 6 for a text? Or no?
Nope.
No, okay. What do we call it? Post broadcast.
And then, let me see, robocall is only 2 calls. So I think your system is set up for robocall too. So it actually will send out an automated call that you can record.
So is that 2D?
2D, robocall. Yep, and it's 2 calls.
Robocall.
2 calls. Call number 1 is a day of reminder.
What is robocall? So
Robocall-
it automatically calls.
It will actually automatically, like you can record your voice and it'll automatically send that call or that MP3. Yeah, because MP4 is video.
See you
Yeah.
tonight. Don't forget your coffee in your notebook.
Right.
That, it will actually, it will
That's
send
the
that
day
out.
of, you said?
Day of, yep, 9 a.m. day of is that first one. And then the second one is the we are live.
Yeah, you catching them at all angles.
You're not gonna miss my
Hey.
event, okay?
Dang, how do I get off of here? How can I?
And
You
then
know
this is
what?
why-
They're gonna, some people will probably get annoyed, but more people will be so intrigued.
Well, and here's how I look at it. Think about
Or
it.
appreciate it.
Your audience are moms.
Right. They
So,
get marketed all the time.
But wait a minute. Do you know how busy I am?
Right.
Oh,
You
God.
forget.
And if I signed up, I registered, I
If
will
I
come,
registered,
and I
I-
appreciate the reminder.
Right.
I'm gonna be mad. God dog it, I missed it.
Right.
Like I'm gonna be
Because
irritated.
once it's over, boom, it's off.
And don't
all-
forget, the information
all
that they're
over.
gonna get is gonna be so valuable that they're gonna.
Right.
you know,
So
they're
just
gonna-
imagine, and depending on the type of moms that you guys are working with, whether or not, like I'm a sports mom.
Mm-hmm.
So we go from football to baseball to gymnastics to summer.
Oh, yeah.
And my daughter does not.
Everything needs to be automated for you.
Hello, sister. If you listen, you can give me the we are live, and I'm in the car.
Right.
I might need 15 minutes after. Keisha, you're late. Okay.
Right.
So some of them may be annoyed. They ain't busy. They not busy moms.
They're annoyed.
Right.
Right. So the ones that will value it and appreciate it are the moms that are probably doing a lot and the busy mom.
Especially
So-
if it's going to be gone. They can't create.
Think about it. Think about it like this. The busy mom doesn't have time to go find the answers to the
Right.
information that she's getting from you, which is
Right.
why she's coming to you to get it in the first place.
Right.
So the annoyed mom is probably the one that's spending her time on Udemy or YouTube or
Right.
Google.
You're Right. And the other thing is, I'm appreciating the fact that you're sending me the information again. Here's the link to join, here's the link to join, the same information from the registration.
So
page,
think about it, if I'm in the car and I'm at the football field and you text me and you send me a link, I can click the link and I can
With my
watch.
AirPods on, I'm right here.
Listen, I can listen to a million books on the field.
And lights out.
I'm just telling you, I'm keeping it real. This is how I live. This is every day for me. So I don't want you to think, oh my God, this is a lie. No, it's really not. Because if you think about it, if I'm not in my house and I don't have internet access, I'm not getting all the emails.
Right.
And I may or may not get the tweets. So you never know what platform someone is on. That's why you want to make sure that you cover all your angles. So love the sequence. So that's probably one of the most important pieces of the entire event sequence. So that's what happens when they register. So after they register, they go to the thank you page, which is the next box. And the fun comes in when we put numbers onto the box. So on that thank you page, there's a thank you video, right? It also reiterates the date, the time. In the Instant Broadcast Pro systems, there is a share with friends button. And check your email for confirmation. So it'll tell them, hey, we sent you an email. And even with the new opt-in guidelines, you gotta get them to opt in or accept your cookies or something like that.
Right.
And then on the thank you page, there's a conversion pixel. So you guys learn about retargeting pixels, conversion pixels, and actually starts to track how many people you converted. I love the numbers piece.
Right.
I love the numbers piece. Yes. Oh. And so the next one, once they register, right? The next big event is the day that you go live.
So this is for, that's our.
So the third box is the that's the actual fourth box. And that is what we call the webinar viewer page. So in your IDP system, it'll say like live page or something like that.
Webinar viewer.
Mm-hmm. So on this page, we talk about some of the software or the tools that you need to have a really good broadcast. And it's funny because I actually have my Logitech C920 with me.
Is that a recorder?
This is actually a camera. This is one bad camera. It's HD. It's just as clear as that.
Nice. So you can hook up to your laptop, or it records to your laptop?
It has
or
a mic. It records on the laptop. Like I use it with Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
I use it with IDP, the webinar platform. But it has a microphone on here, and it's an HD camera. So it's a Logitech C920. It's actually the camera right here.
Logitech.
Yeah. Logitech. And really cool.
Logitech C, what you said?
C920. 1080p
And
HD. Like, and they probably have a newer version like now, but basically it's a Logitech. And it has a little thing on the bottom, so you can actually put it on the tripod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why do I need that? Why do you use that?
I use this because this is the HD camera. I'm not using that camera on my computer.
Oh, okay. So it's
This is
glue
the-
of the computer. Okay, got it.
I literally sit it on top of my my computer, and it gives me a very, very clear picture.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Teresa said you don't want to be on camera with no makeup on with no HD camera.
Yeah.
Because it shows everything. So we have a Logitech C920.
Got it.
You also want to make sure you have good lights. I don't know if you guys have lighting.
Oh, this is a webinar viewer, right?
So
Okay.
you got your camera.
No, wait, hold on. This is
Webinar
supposed to be
view
a live
page.
view page?
Yep.
I'm supposed to be writing this down?
Logitech C920.
I'm over here looking like, oh, you showing us something?
Write it down so you'll know what you need to get. I thought about it. I was like, oh, I actually have mine.
The second, what you said, the second one?
The second one is cowboy lighting. There's a couple of different options for lighting. You got a ring light. Some people use a ring light.
Would you call it?
Cowboy lighting. You can get it from Amazon. I actually like the fluorescent lighting that sit up on tripods. Just because of where I am, when I do my live streams, I don't use my phone. I usually use my computer. So I have I'll show you cowboy lighting. So cowboy lighting. Huh?
She didn't have this headache on.
Oh man, I think I left mine.
See the front desk.
The front desk, if they have a store, they normally have some. But yeah, here's one of the sets right here.
Oh, okay.
But I like, and you can use either one. I like these ones.
Oh, yeah.
They're a little bit difficult if you're traveling.
Right.
But I like this better than those ones. But that's the cowboy lighting. So if the ring light works for you, as long as your lighting is good, like that's my only thing. Cause you can mess up a good video with bad lighting.
Yeah.
Right.
Any questions so far? Helpful? Good information?
She got hers on for 7 hours.
Huh?
Hers been going for 7 hours.
Oh,
Let me not stop it.
Oh.
I stopped mine. No questions yet. No questions yet. Yeah, my girlfriend, she sells a product and she does an email sequence. She was like, girl, I don't set up no more anywhere. I just do the email sequence and I just make money like that.
So she just writes the email sequence.
For her product. Because I make product too, bath and body products. So that's why I was talking to her. And she was like, yeah, just do an email sequence. You just have to be consistent. You'll start seeing the results. You keep doing it. I was like, okay.
Yeah, email is still hot. I mean, I have certain individuals.
That's not on email.
No, that are still. I mean, some people are on email. Some people.
But some
It just
people are on
works.
text too.
It just. Some people are in the bot sequence.
Right. Right.
So it's one of those things where you find your sweet spot, and you stick with it.
Right.
So you find one platform and you really, really stick with it. So in one of my sequences, like over the last 4 years, I've developed 4 or 5 sequences, pretty much one every year.
Right.
And so with each
and you
sequence,
can interchange each one
each sequence, one feeds into the other. And as we learn new technologies, new strategies, we implement that into the sequence. Like I just added the bot sequence into one of my older sequences, and I'm revamping a sequence that I taught last year. So it's you just continue to add on to it. But luckily for you guys, you're getting it all built out. So as you continue to conduct webinars, you're prospecting, as you create a new gift, you just make sure you create it exactly the same that it was developed for you. Do not leave out any of the pieces.
Right. Right.
Don't leave out a piece. Like, don't try to skip a step.
Right.
It could be an important step.
Right.
And that's the key.
Right.
That's the key. Why does it look like it's gonna rain?
I know, right? Are you here overnight or you going back?
No, I gotta go out here and do a broadcast at 8 o'clock.
Oh,
I'm actually doing a live summit all week long.
Oh, wow.
9 a.m., 1 p.m. Eastern. That's why I came in here and then I ran out because I went live at 1 o'clock with Dr. Rubin.
Oh, okay.
And so at 8, it's.
So basically, what you just have Ruben's an expert that's gonna be on, or
Hmm?
with your live summit?
Yeah, he did a 25-minute, 30-minute power talk.
Okay.
But I'm taking all the videos down.
Right, of course. Like if
Oh,
you're not in, yeah.
I'm taking all them down. And you can
And
get
you
access.
use that like at the end of the year again.
And I got the one we did last year. We did it
Yeah.
last year.
It's
Ruben
still
was
relevant.
there. Yeah, Ruben was there. Trevor was there.
Recycle.
Tina Forsythe was there. Daniel Winningham. I don't know. It's a couple of people. This one is 5 days. I don't know what I was thinking.
But they so when you do it, they opt in for it.
Absolutely.
They pay a certain.
And then you know what? They opt in, and actually, you can write this on your thank you page. Have them join your group.
Your Facebook group.
Have them join your Facebook group, because I'm telling you, it's growing a group. Oh, hi. I'm now remember. Did you get some?
No, check what's this
On the thank you
Oh.
page, have them join your group. She's doing a live summit right now. Not right now, but it's in the works at 8:00.
Oh.
She's doing it for 5 days.
I know.
That's a long time. 5 days.
Well, you got
3
different
segments.
teachers.
3 segments
Okay.
every day.
So 3 different times.
Mm-hmm.
Every day, 3 different times?
Mhm.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's a lot.
It's 15 segments. So when I said that, it made me think about the fact that on your thank you page, you can invite them to your Facebook group.
Okay.
And I actually can go in one of your emails too. That's why I said we enhance the process as we grow.
Right.
We enhance it as we go. So, yeah, that'll help you join the group, help you grow your group as well. All right, and so headsets. I'm going to say this on camera. I haven't seen a female yet that wears the headset, but I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you that you should have the headset, but I have not seen a female yet to wear the headset. I used to. I was like, no. That's why I said the watch check has the sound is just as good. But according to the Evergreen event sequence, and for the sake of the camera that's on, I'm gonna let you know that you should have a headset H600. I won't be mad if you don't wear it. All right, and so one of the things that I was saying is when you do your webinar, you're gonna do your webinar with the intention of selling, right? And we're gonna sell a $9.97 product on your webinar. All right, you might have a membership model, that's great, but we still gonna have a $9.97 product. So what that does is when you start to sell, it starts the evergreen sales sequence. So that's number 5. So basically, once you start to pitch your product, you have just begun the sales sequence, okay?
So that's 5. So
that is number 5. That is the sales sequence. And in order to make the sales sequence effective, you need to have a shopping cart. The biggest mistake I've ever seen anyone make is to offer a product and not have a way to collect payments. Inbox me so I can get your payment information. You want to see a launch flop?
You just lost them.
Not have a buy button. Okay? Shopping cart, sales page, definitely gotta have a shopping cart. So some of the ones that are like the robust systems are Infusionsoft. I've seen Zaxa, one shopping cart. If you are doing a high ticket offer, meaning you have a product that's $9,000 and above, you would want to run a sales appointment, okay? That's not typically something that you see that is sold from a webinar. So basically, you sell items up to about $1,000 on a webinar. Anything over $1,000, you wanna have a conversation. And so you wanna make sure you have a system like a time trade. So you write that down. Make sure you have a system like a time trade. What appointment setting system do you have right now?
Book like a boss.
What is it?
Book
Is that
like
the
a boss.
Is that the name of the software or is it the site?
That's the name of it.
Really?
Yeah.
I had time trade, but I like book like a boss.
Okay. whatever
Time
works
trade, I
for you.
can take money, that's why I love time trade.
Oh, okay.
We like money.
I like money too. I actually still use time trade.
I play with time trade,
It was another.
yeah, there were 2 others.
Well, the appointment setting system,
What's the
Acuity.
I had Acuity and Calendly.
Calendly, yeah, I've heard Calendly, Acuity.
But Book Boss was a good price point, and it allowed us to build a page that, it allowed us to work with all 3 of us. So you can go on there and book a consult with Janelle, Tamara, or Shanta, and then go to our emails. So that way you can talk to, you know what I mean?
Either person, like,
Yeah.
it allows you to add users. It sounds like Appointment Core, which is
Yeah.
affiliated with Infusionsoft. So,
Use Infusionsoft?
Mhm.
It looks complicated.
huh?
It looks complicated.
Not until you learn it. Well, I learned it working with them a few years ago. So when I started growing my business, I just purchased it for my business because it worked. I knew it. I was comfortable with it. One of the things is 3 parts to the sales process or sales sequence, right? You have an upsell, a downsell, and then a high ticket offer. I don't get into the sales sequence, I don't get into sales. However, when you're selling from your webinar, most of the time you're gonna have a fixed price or a fixed product, $9.97. But I want you to know that you still can have an upsell, which could be a $10,000 product, a $25,000 product. I think every business should have a $25,000 product. I'm not saying you gotta create it before you leave here, but I think eventually in your business you should have one. So upsell, downsell, and high ticket offer. Upsell, downsell, and high ticket offer. Upsell, downsell, and high ticket offer. Everybody's not gonna be ready to purchase at the $9.97, so you wanna be able to have some type of downsell and meet them where they are, right? They can join your membership program. All right, so when you are, so number 6 is the actual evergreen sales page. So, so number 5 starts the sequence, because there's a sequence of activities that happen when you make a sale.
This is like a conversation.
Right. So,
And then it says evergreen.
so when you're on the webinar, right, and you tell them to go to, was it Moms and Mogul? RaisinAMogul.academy.com, right? That's gonna take them to the evergreen sales page.
Okay.
So on the evergreen sales page, what you often find, and this drives me crazy when people don't do this. It drives me crazy when people don't do this. It drives me crazy when people don't do this. Have a 2-step opt-in. People have sales pages and it takes them right to the sales page. No. Make them enter in their information in order to get the price. So you wanna have a 2-step opt-in.
Because they've already gotten the price here, right? They already know what it is, they already know what it costs here.
They know what it costs here.
Okay.
But for whatever reason, right, they didn't attend the webinar. And even if they did attend the webinar, right, and you told them to go to xyzacademy.com, right? If they go to that website and they see that price, you can't track who's gone to your site if you don't have them enter in their information. That's why it's important to have a 2-step opt-in. So on that 2-step opt-in, of course you're gonna have you're gonna collect the first name, last name, and email address and the phone number. It's 4 particular things. And on the sales page, it's going to talk about the program. It's going to talk about, the benefits and everything. But when you're ready to buy, if it says register now, sign up now, buy now, there's always should be a pop-up box when they hit that buy now or sign up now, and that's the 2-step opt-in. So when they fill out their information, it then takes them to the checkout page, which is number 7. But I'm gonna tell you something before we go to number 7. And I've seen this flop too. People want to know Well, nobody purchased. Well, what was your follow-up system? What was your follow-up sequence? Well, what do you mean? How many people did you call? What did I tell you? I call everybody that comes to my webinar. How many people did you call? Well, I didn't call nobody. Why not? Well, I didn't get any numbers. Well, why don't you have a two-step opt-in on your sales page?
Okay.
So if I have a two-step opt-in and somebody fills out their information and they don't buy,
At least you can call
at
them.
least I can call them and know that they are interested
So they,
because they are a bona fide prospect
right, because they got this far.
because they got that far.
First step is they give you the information, second step would be buying.
The action.
Is the action
So,
in the button.
People will pay you first with the information,
Right.
second with the action.
So the action is them clicking the.
The action
button
is them clicking
to buy
that buy button.
Thank you.
Right, and filling out that two-step option.
Okay, thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they turned into a prospect when they took action and signed up for the webinar. But people will pay you first with the information, second with action, and then third with their money.
Okay.
People will pay you first with information. You can write that down again if you want to. Second with the action. And third with money. I am. And if you take it out of that order, you'll decrease your revenue by 80% every single time. Make sense?
Yes.
She signed me up for her booth. Oh my God. All right. So, on the Evergreen sales page, the price is not revealed. They have to pay you with their action in order to get the price. And then you have retargeting pixel number 2. So you can actually retarget people that go to your sales page. And so you can run an ad for your product to the people that go to your sales page.
So target pixel.
Retargeting pixel number 2.
It's on 6.
Is on 6. Retargeting pixel number 2. Retargeting pixel number 2. So here's where the fun starts to happen, right? And it all depends on what type of payment system do you guys use?
Like Stripe?
I don't think Stripe does this.
What do you use?
I don't think Stripe does. No, I use Stripe, I use PayPal, I use anything that takes money.
That's how I feel. But I've seen some fancy ones, but then I'm like, why?
I mean,
Square.
and the reason why, I'm gonna share with you why on the checkout page. Somebody sent me Cash App, I had to download the Cash App. I was like, how's Cash App? I was like, but I'm gonna download it.
We just talking about Cash App.
I'm like, what is that?
Cash App,
I'm like, what is Cash App? And somebody got a notification, you got money in Cash App. I don't have Cash App. Let's go get my money. But no, so the checkout page is where the price is revealed. So, in the sales process, right? So they're gonna go to your sales page, they're gonna get the information about the sales page, they're interested in purchasing, they're gonna hit the register sign up now or buy now button. The screen pops up that has the box to enter the first name, last name, email address, and phone number. When they click the enter button, it takes them to the checkout page. Checkout page usually, yes, the checkout page, depending on the type of payment gateway you have, whether it's Infusionsoft, One Shopping Cart, PayPal, Entreport. In order to start,
We still have Entreport, but I want to get rid of it.
so it depends, and basically what happens is,
Make sure I'm doing it right.
Put that in your question.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, here's why those systems that I just named
Uh-huh.
are important. Because you can do an abandoned cart sequence in the robust systems versus a Stripe or PayPal. You can't do that in those systems. So, for number 7, I wanna make sure that you write this down. The price is revealed and conversion pixel number 2. So you can actually put a conversion pixel on the checkout page so that you can monitor and how effective your ads are working. The price is revealed and conversion pixel number 2. Price is revealed and conversion pixel number 2 and box number 7 on your checkout page.
And conversion pixel.
Mm-hmm. And this is where, I mean, if you really want to be serious about your sales process, you want to implement the abandoned cart sequence. So I know for products on like Shopify, you can actually do it. But you need,
They do.
right, but you need like a more robust system in the product or service-based area, where we use like Infusionsoft or Entreport or something like that. So this goes into the 7A, B, and C, D box, right? So the first box is 7A, right? And the start abandoned cart sequence. So basically what that is saying is, if someone goes through your process, they attended the webinar, they went to the sales page, they went to everything, but the chicken was burning on the stove. And they stopped. They didn't purchase. But they clicked and they put it in the shopping cart. So there's an order pending, right? So what the abandoned cart sequence does is it starts to connect with them based on their behavior.
Hey, we miss you.
Exactly. Or do you have questions about the program? We saw that you started the process, but you didn't complete the process. Do you have questions? You can dial so and so and so.
Now you gotta look for that one.
Right. So, and there's a couple of ways that it's done. So 7B is an abandoned cart email sequence. So
7B abandoned cart.
7B is an abandoned cart email sequence. We don't really have one mapped out, because a lot of times when the client comes in, they don't really have, most of them have the PayPal set up, and so they're not at the point where they're ready to implement this, but it's great information for you to have. 7C, based on the system that you have, you can actually do an abandoned cart text messaging sequence as well. And then 7D, oh, and I've seen this done before too. 7D is actually for people that have gone through this process, you actually can retarget a webinar to them. So you remarket the product, so you can run an ad, right? You can run an ad to them to remarket the product. You can host a webinar. Sometimes I've seen Q&A webinars where we kind of go deeper into the information that you originally went on, and you also do information about the product that you're selling, because you're answering objections on this Q&A session, and you're overcoming the objections that the people are having who are in the abandoned cart sequence. Because it's either going to be, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, or one or the other. Or I need to talk to somebody, right? Mm-hmm. So those are the objections that you overcome in the abandoned cart sequence. And so that's just kind of like an overview for you in the abandoned cart sequence. Make sense? Mm-hmm. All right, so after they check out, right, they've actually a part of your program, they participated in your program. Happy customers are your biggest cheerleader, are they not?
Yes.
So what better way to get more clients than by having some type of referral-based or affiliate-based program. Mm-hmm. So it starts the evergreen affiliate sequence in number 8. And some of the softwares that are out there that do affiliate sequences are ClickBank, Lead Dino, Zaxa, I think JD do. I'm seeing Lead Dino.
You say, what is it?
ClickBank. Mm-hmm. And that's basically for people, if they sell your program or if they recommend somebody to your program, you can give them a small percentage. So ClickBank, Lead Dino is one. Lead Dino.
LEAP?
LEAD.
A lead done.
A lead.
Oh,
So one of the things that I did want to say to you while we were talking about leads is, of course, a lead is a person who's interested in your products or services, right? But the difference in a prospect is the prospect is a person that has taken action to indicate that they're interested. The value of a lead is $0.
So lead could be people in our group, they're
Leads,
leads.
they're all leads.
But the prospects are the people that actually downloaded our freebies.
There you go.
Or
right,
attended one of
So
our.
the value of, and they're actually a prospect now.
Okay.
And the value of a prospect is $1.15 per person per month. The value of a prospect is $1.15 per month, per person per month.
Okay.
that's a value for prospect.
$1.15 per person per month. And people will pay you first with what?
Information,
Second,
action,
and third. If you take it out of that order, how much do you cut your revenue?
80%.
Come on now. A lead is what?
$0,
Value is
$0
$0.
Its value is $0, but what are they? It's a person that's interested in your product or services,
They're
your
interested.
mission or your brand. Exactly.
Uh-huh.
A prospect is a person that is
Take action.
indicated by taking action. Fantastic. You guys are good students. All right, so one of the ways that affiliates, and make sure you draw that box and connect.
Oh, okay.
So one of the ways that we when we set up an affiliate program, we give them marketing materials to promote your programs, right?
Right.
Or your products. So you can actually give them lead magnets, right? For them to promote to get leads or prospects that are interested in your program. So it actually goes right back into the evergreen prospecting sequence, which you're going to learn either tonight or tomorrow. So that last box in the middle is what connects the entire dot. It's the prospecting sequence. It's the evergreen prospecting sequence. God bless you. And so basically what that is your free gift, your lead magnet. So let's just say that everyone that's currently in your group, right? If you gave them access to your starter kit and said, share this on your page and whoever signs up to the program will give you 10%. It's literally starting the prospecting sequence all over again.
Right.
And when you get that prospecting sequence, what is it going to do? It's going to send you through value email number 1, value email number 2, and then it's going to invite them to your webinar that you have set up.
Right.
So now you have other people marketing for you. Make sense?
Yes.
All right, so now we're going to talk money. So I need both of you all to grab another yellow sheet. And I'm going to show you how to make.
Are you using these?
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
I'm going to show you how you make $100,000 from just doing webinars and selling one product. I always have to write it down first. Oh Lord!
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God!
Like
Oh
instantly,
Lord!
all of a sudden, it was just like,
Towards the end.
my body's like, I'm like, why are my legs
Oh, I can't. I'm sorry.
I'm like, why are my legs hurting? I'm having trouble standing. This is, knows while he was talking, I just kept moving, and I'm like, I can't do this. And then my head started hurting. She's like, today is the worst day for you to have a headache. You cannot have a headache.
That's what he said?
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Mom, technically.
There we go.
Mom, I'm in training.
I know. I'm so busy.
Alright, let me see. So the easiest way for me to show you is registration. Thank you. Live sale for checkout. Alright. So normally I print this out. Hold on, but I ain't print it out. Alright, so basically draw like four boxes. 4 boxes. And they're basically going to resemble your registration page, your thank you page, your live page, and your sales page. That's basically. Make sense?
Yeah.
Your registration page, your thank you page. Yep, there you go.
Registration.
Thank you page, your live page, and your sales page. Your registration page, thank you page, your live page, and your sales page. Right? So I showed you how to drive traffic. Right? Mm-hmm. So if you use all 7 of the methods to drive traffic, over a 12-month period, 100,000 people should be exposed to your registration page. 100,000 people, that's the first thing that I want you to write under registration is 100,000.
What was it, registration?
Right, registration, thank you, page, your live page, that means the webinar page, live, and then sales page. All right, and then draw a line under it. There you go. So underneath registration, right below it, I want you to write 100,000 people, right? So when you use actually 8, and it's bot sequence, I'm sorry, you put bots. So when you use the 8 strategies to generate more traffic, over a 12-month period, 100,000 people should view your registration page. 100,000 people should view your registration page. That just means that they're exposed to it. That does not mean that they've taken action, okay? So that just means that 100,000 people should view your registration page. Now, are all of them going to register?
No.
Statistics show that about 10% of the people that actually come to your page will actually register, okay? So 10% of the people that come to your page over a 12-month period, that means how many people are actually going to register?
10,000?
10,000. So underneath the thank you, you can get 10,000 people to register over a 12-month period of time, right under, yep, 10,000 people to register over a 12-month period of time. And honestly, I'm going to be really on the low end side, and I'm going to stick with this 10%, because actually if you do what I told you to do with the A processes, you actually can get an 80% conversion rate, but we're going to say 10% just to be nice, okay? And just to keep my numbers even. So if 10% actually show up, let's just say you just did a half job. You ain't do all 8 things like Keisha said, do all 8. And 10% actually showed up. How many people are actually going to show up over a 12-month period to your live stream or to your webinar?
10% of 10,000?
10% of 10,000 show up.
Oh, 1,000.
1,000 people over a 12-month period of time. So I want you to write 1,000 people over a 12-month period of time under the live.
Okay.
Under the live. 1,000 people over a 12-month period of time. Over a 12-month period of time. Right? Now, are they all going to purchase? No, absolutely not. Now, you might have a good closing rate. I don't know. I ain't never heard you say it. But I'm going to be nice, and I'm going to say you got a 10% close rate. So 10% of 1,000 is how much?
100.
100 people. So you can close 100 people Now, what was the price of the product that I said you're gonna have?
$9.97.
So 100 times 997 is how much?
10,000.
Close, you said close 100.
100.
It's 9,907, and I'll give you the $30.
You said we gotta keep it up.
It's $100,000. I'm gonna give you $30, so you earn $100,000. Does that make sense? So we're gonna break it down right below, so you can draw a line under there if you want to. But we're gonna break it down, because we talk about consistency, right? So draw a line under that section, and we're gonna break it down per month. I'm gonna show you how easy it really is if you do it consistently.
That's the word.
It's the key. It's consistent, right? All right, so we're gonna take that 100,000 people. That was over a 12-month period of time. So if we divide 100,000 by 12, it's 83,333.
$8 registration.
So it's 8,333 people will actually view your registration page every month. 8,333 will view your registration page every month. Right? That's 100,000 divided by 12, so it's 8,333. Right? Will everyone register? So 10% of them will register and actually, they'll register for your webinar. So they'll see your thank you page. So 833 people will register. If you did one webinar per month, right? So if you did one webinar per month and were able to get 833 people to register, 10% of them show up. That's 83 people. And that's a real low number, to be quite honest with you.
83 people online.
So 83 people will actually show up. And this is per month. So that's almost 10% of the people that's in your group right now to show up to your webinar. I don't think that's hard.
I don't think so at all.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you sold 83 people at $9.97 or $1,000, right? That's 8,000. So if you close 10%, how many people is that?
8 people.
8 people per month.
At
$1,000
per month.
That's $8,000, right? Close 8 people or 10% of the people that show up to the webinar every single month for a $1,000 product. That's $8,000 a month. Is that doable?
Yes.
Let's break it down if you had a webinar every week. So draw another line. Pick another color. I just want to show you how easy it is if you stay consistent.
Right.
So let's just say that you did one webinar every Monday for 52 weeks. And actually, Russell Brunson's book says to do one webinar
That's
every
the
week.
book I have on the bed.
It says it's .com or yeah.
That's how it's written on the plan.
It actually says do a webinar for 52 weeks. Right? Let me show you something. So if you did a webinar every week and you ran ads and you did all 7 of those things, right? And you got exposure of at least 2,083 people to view your registration page. 2,083, because that's 100,000 divided by 52. So if you basically broke it down to every week, once a week, every Monday.
Okay, so 2,000 what?
2,083.
Okay, 2,083.
what was that, 100,000 divided by 52 weeks? Why does it say 1923? Oh, I know why. 833. 833 divided by 4 is 2083. That's what it is.
Okay.
So 833 is per month.
And this is.
And then if you divide that by 4, it's 2083. So depending on how you do the math, which is really weird. I guess it says it's 100,000. So let's just say that you had 2,000 people that are exposed to your registration page.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that you ran an ad and 2,000 people actually saw the ad, right? 2,100. Are they all going to register?
No.
Let's say 10% of them registered, right? That's what, like 208 people?
Mm-hmm.
So 208 people register for your webinar. This is every week. And it is not, let me tell you something. It's not hard to get 208 people to register for your webinar. It's not hard. Now imagine with the bot sequence, the ads, the prospecting sequence, the people that are already on your list. It's not hard to get 208 people to register. And we already know that they're all not going to show. Guess how many are going to show?
10%?
How much is that?
20 people.
20 damn people. Not just 20 damn people. 20 people every week. Are you serious? Come on. If you go live or you do a webinar every single week and you get 20 people to register, you sell the same program, that same $1,000. How many people are you going to convert if you have a 10% conversion rate? 2 people. Yeah. You mean tell me you can't close 2 people? And you already told me whenever y'all intentionally sell.
2,000 per week. So just 2 people. So it's
2 people
per week, which brings us to our 8 people per month.
So 2 people at $2,000 a week.
2,000, yeah. That's 8,000 a month. Yeah. Okay.
So if consistency is a problem, you need to put that right there up on the wall when you get home. Now you see why I said when you get back home and you want to know where to start.
Mm-hmm. Question. So there's 3 of us. Do you think it should just be? Should always. She's the spokesperson, right? So it should always be her on the webinar, or should it be collective? Like 1 week is you, because
that's totally. It depends on the content.
And do you think the audience would be like,
Well, they know you as 3, but it depends on the content.
Okay.
So, do you all teach the same content? Do you have an area of specialty in regards to content? Oh, okay.
Right.
So once you decipher what your
And we develop it, still developing.
right. So once you develop like what the content strategy is going to be, that will determine who goes live. I mean, I wouldn't sit here and say that should have to be 100% your responsibility. Like,
right.
I mean, and again, it goes back to the area of expertise where you feel more comfortable. There may be some areas in business where you and your daughter have experience that, you and your daughter may not have experience, where you might feel more comfortable talking about, right? So, and vice versa. So, depending on what topics that you guys choose for your broadcast, you two might do one, and then what's the other lady's name?
Janelle.
So you and Janelle might do one. And so it just all depends on the content that you develop for your content strategy.
Got it.
And so that way it doesn't put all the pressure on one particular person. But when I remember the first time when I broke that down, I was like 20 people on a webinar.
For real.
Like seriously? $997? It's ridiculous. It's really
Sometimes it's so interesting because when you break it down like that, it just seems so
easier.
It seems so it's like a no-brainer.
It's bite-sized pieces that we take.
and then it makes you sit back and look at it and be like, why haven't I done a webinar this week?
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go schedule this webinar next week, and next week.
Yeah.
And then when you start to implement it and start to do it, it becomes easier because it becomes systematic. Okay, this is what I need to do. I need a registration page. I need a thank you page. All right, these emails are set up. It's all automated, right? All we need to know is what we're talking about and what the benefits are. We know what we're selling, and we're gonna sell the same thing every single time.
Always the same thing.
Always the same thing every single time, right? What did he say? Until you get your 100 people, you gonna keep selling that same thing until you get your 100 people. And it's literally, that's why I say, you know, a lot of times when I do this training, I try to emphasize when you get back, I say it every single time. When you get back home, what's the first thing that you need to do? You need to look at that piece of paper and say, I need to do a webinar. When is my first webinar? Schedule 4 of them. So you'll know for the next 4 weeks, we're gonna get 20 people on this webinar. We're gonna get 8 people in this program, and it's absolutely no reason why you can't generate $8,000.
Let me ask you a question. So say if we were to use the sequence for the membership, which is a lower ticket item, do the percentages rise, you think, because of the price point?
Well, again, the percentages are generous. That's just a model.
Right.
Because actually, when you do, to be honest with you, when you do the traffic sources, like the 8 traffic sources, it doubles your webinar attendance. So based on how you how you advertise, and if you do those, you can actually get more than 208 people to register. And even if you did get 208 people, if you did the email sequence, the tweet reminder, and the text reminder, you can actually get a 50% show rate. It's absolutely no reason. You're more guaranteed to get a 50% show rate on a webinar. Okay. So that's why I said the 10% is really like a model.
Right.
But for webinars, most of the webinars I've done, I get a 50% conversion, like a 50% show rate. So it's just guaranteed. And then you got the replay. So another 10 to 15% are going to go back and watch the replay. And so depending on if you spend, and I don't know how much the sales conversation, but if you spend 20 to 25 minutes on that sales piece and you talk about the features, the benefits, the objections, if you talk about the elephant that's in the room, there's absolutely no reason why you can't convert them. And even if they do not purchase live, your follow-up system has to be banging. Like, you gotta knock it out the box and follow up, whether it's by getting on that telephone, that abandoned cart sequence, or whether you email or hire someone to email and follow up and see what questions that they have. So when you do the webinar again, you make those questions a part of the objections. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So your conversion rate will be higher. So 10% is just a model, but there's no reason why you can't convert higher, especially if you already have a tribe, you already have an audience of over 700 people. And now you're conditioning them to join the webinar and know that, hey, this is what we're doing. I mean, granted, it's not going to take away from the free group, but you're going to add more people into your membership, and you just keep doing it until you get to 100. Right. You just keep doing it until you get to 100.
That seems so easy.
I'm telling you. I mean, and the thing about it is,
so now instead of us breaking it down per month on the thing, we just need to break it down weekly. Who's doing that? Who's doing whatever?
And I'm telling you, if you consistently stick to that model, it's absolutely no reason. And that's the thing about it. What did he say? No leads, no hope. No leads, no hope. You do webinars to generate leads.
Right.
Like, you do webinars to generate leads. The lead magnets are great. It's the entry point into your ecosystem. It's the entry point into your sales system, because that's how they're getting to know you.
Right.
But this is how they're interacting with you and they're learning from you. And so the more they get on here and the more information that you share, the higher the conversion rate. So that's what you need to do as soon as you get home. Any questions?
But how long did it take you to start really seeing a true shift? I know in the beginning process, consistency. But when is it? I mean, I know it takes time touching the clients, and then finally they'll. Okay.
So about 2 years ago, Trevor did a challenge with the team. I think it was like 2 or 3, might be 3 years ago now. I think it was 3 years ago now. So he made all of us do 8 webinars in a 30-day period. Like 30 days,
That's what we need to do.
45-day period. Like, and it was the same webinar. It was he was like, do the same webinar 8 times. So that's where I know that the different times works.
Right.
Because I basically did 2 webinars every week. I did one on a Sunday, one on a Thursday, one on a Sunday, one on a Tuesday, one on a Sunday, one on a Monday. But I did one every Sunday, and then I picked one based on my schedule. And I know we probably made the company $20,000 a piece.
Wow.
A piece. And it was like 4 of us doing it.
Wow.
So do you think that was motivation to keep going?
Heck yeah.
And
like next week we're gonna
right,
talk about
and you know, and so here's where the whole we got an influx of leads and an influx of clients. So this is where the inconsistency comes, because now we're working in the business and not working on the business. So we dropped the ball on continuing to do the webinars because now we got an influx of clients.
So you gotta manage the people that come in and bring in.
So now you build out a process where you can have a process where you onboard the client so you consistently be the face of the business and actually continue to work on the business, not in the business. You know, does that make sense? But if you plan it out, I mean, it can be done. So yeah, it was about 3 years ago. It was pretty much when it was maybe a year after we launched the Evergreen. So when we do it consistently, it generates money. And that's why I was just sharing with you. I did the 15 live streams. I think it was like 15 live streams and 3 webinars, and did $15,000 in 21 days. 21 days. 21 days.
So like
It was intentional.
ours is what is it, 37 a month?
Right, well, we don't know what he's gonna say today,
Right.
but then today.
Mhm.
Right now it is, yes.
Right.
So even if
And
I
we
mean,
haven't
even if it's
really-
$37.
Because
And
we
we have we started the process of a $9.97 product.
Uh-huh.
But then that was in 1-2 week stretch with working with Trevor, and then all of a sudden he came on, he was like, nope, we're gonna do
The membership
society.
model.
It's gonna change.
Mhm.
And we never finished that model. But
Right.
because we already had a membership separate that we were working on,
Mhm.
we just kept feeding everything that he was teaching us into that membership, because we never finished the $9.97 and we never finished a full $97 a month membership. So that's why it's 37. So neither one are completely built out. So it's just 97 right now.
Because we were just saying, you know, for $97, we want to make sure it's real robust. Like,
Wow.
that was just
Well,
us.
because he told us, because when he told us it was gonna be 97, he laid out this idea, but we haven't been able to implement any of the stuff that he said he wanted it to look like, that we said we were gonna do.
Oh,
So right now, we just have the portal piece,
yeah.
you know, but,
I have a portal,
yeah.
and I have videos,
Like how many
and I have a 1 live and 1 Q&A.
how many classes are in your portal right now? Like,
Probably 8
how many do we have?
40.
classes or modules. Like
No, classes,
Classes.
individual classes, so like we have class,
At
like last night, we did a
$37.
class on
So we
taking
need
links
to get to
retail.
go up.
We do a class on marketing, we do a class, she did a class on product photography with your cell phone on the road.
And collaborations. and
how many
marketing
modules are in each of those classes?
They're not they're not really in modules.
So they're
Like
one
marketing.
broad. It's like one thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's one membership,
Oh, see,
and then it's like marketing.
That's more like that's one module. Like when you say classes, I had a 12-week class with like
Oh, got it.
4 modules, 12
So yours is
modules.
different. Yours
Right.
is a big product.
Yes.
Ours is just a membership for like, if you only wanna learn how to run Facebook ads, you just go to that class. If you only wanna learn how to.
No, see, I can upload now. If I was to upload, oh yeah, I have
Yeah.
actual like they're
They gonna
$4.97.
And I was gonna say, they sell on their own.
Yeah.
And then you put it, yeah.
And they're all in a portal.
Right.
So
You can bundle it.
that's what I did with my inner circle. So I gave them access to products that I previously taught.
Right.
No.
Well, they have the, I need to create more high ticket products, cause like I have the company that was celebrity, and that was like a $5.97 product that I created last fall. So they have access to that now. But I did that last time, this only second time we pitched the society, and we started with a 5-week challenge, and it went into the webinar, which led to the pitch. As the fast action bonus, they got the becoming a little celebrity.
And how many did you sell?
11. and I was the only one to second time.